Welcome to White Rice, Brown Rice. Let's dig into the flavorful mix of interracial relationships. From cultural quirks to family dynamics, we're serving up fresh perspectives on love, laughter, and all things Asian Caucasian. So grab your chopsticks and forks because it's time to mix it up. Recording in progress. Can I tell you a funny story to start off? I had to get a medical procedure, and the doctor was Asian, I think Korean, and the assistant was white, like middle-aged white woman. Didn't look anything like me, but you know. And we have this like running joke. All white people look the same. All Asian people look the same. And so I'm like getting this medical procedure done. The doctor, the Asian doctor, kept calling the assistant Amanda, but her name was Danielle. And she kept correcting him, like, it's Danielle. And then he kept calling me Danielle. It was so fucking confusing because he was telling Danielle to do something, but saying Amanda. And I'm thinking, should I be doing something? And it was just pretty comical. And all I could keep thinking was like, this is such a white rice, brown rice moment. But like, I couldn't laugh or move because of the procedure that I was receiving. And I'm just like, what the fuck? We don't look alike. Stop calling her Amanda. And she was kind of getting irritated. Like she kept correcting him. It was comical.
Yeah.
But all I could think of is not all white women look the same.
Yeah, just like when Asians feel like not all Asians
Oh, yeah.
look
I
the
mean,
same.
King gets that all the time. Are you Tony? He's like, no. Tony Yee? No, I'm not Tony. But that's just like an ongoing thing. And I'm just sitting there having such like a white rice, brown rice moment in the middle of this procedure. And I'm like, this is insane. It happens everywhere. But anyways, that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about language. So I read this Reddit thread, and it was about a high school down south somewhere. I think it was Georgia. And it was a private school, but that had a large Korean community within the school. And they were banning the Korean students from speaking Korean in school because the white students were feeling excluded. The Reddit board was blowing up. It was a bunch of Asian people that were frustrated by the situation. And language is something obviously I deal with all the time in my own house. And there's so many, I think, different perspectives on it. And so I just kind of want to talk through it and see what your perspective is as a non-English speaker and how that works within your family and your life. And do you think it's right or wrong that this school banned the Korean students from speaking Korean in school?
I think it's a complex situation. I don't think there is a right or wrong. It depends on the situation. If they were writing a test and the Korean kids were speaking Korean, I would be suspect. But if they're out at recess and they're communicating with each other where they're comfortable, I don't see why that's a problem.
Well, and it referenced that the white students were feeling excluded from the conversation. And the reason this rang true for me or kind of hit home for me was because growing up, my grandparents spoke German in their house. And my mom, still to this day, is pissed about that. Like she felt extremely excluded if they would ever speak German in their own house because she didn't understand it, right? This is my father's parents. And she would complain and feel left out and excluded and hate it. Always complained about it. And I didn't understand. I always kind of took they're in their own house. Like that's their native tongue. Like where's the sensitivity to that, right? And then now married into a Chinese speaking family from the very beginning, my in-laws, specifically my mother-in-law, only speaks Chinese to my husband, right? for the most part. So she'll be in our house speaking Chinese at the dinner table, and I'll just be sitting there. And I'm totally fine with it. When we first got together and we were planning our wedding, I didn't really want to know his mom's opinions because she's a typical matriarch. She's
She has a lot of
very,
opinions.
very opinionated. And so I told my husband, or soon to be husband, like, listen, whatever your mom says, she's speaking to you in Chinese. I want you to filter what you think I need to hear because I don't want to like enter this marriage not liking my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And I knew that that was a potential
Yeah.
possibility. So I see it as an amazing like blessing in my life that there are times I can be sitting at family dinner with my in-laws and I can totally check out into space and not pay attention to anything. And I just sit there and I eat my food in peace. And they could be screaming at each other. I don't know what the hell they're saying. So I'm just like, yum, yum, yum. And so, like, I've never felt excluded
Right.
in this. But the
Make-
perspective of my mom is like, she's like, oh, this is the worst thing.
Well, maybe I think that too, your mom may be more insecure about what they're saying. And you have trust in your husband to tell you the important information and everything else is just
Yeah, that's
fluff.
true. I don't care. Well, and I also don't care when people talk about me,
Right.
even in English.
That's what
I'm
I
like,
mean.
whatever. Yeah, you're right. I mean, like comparatively, I think I'm more secure than my mom. But these students down south, they're feeling excluded. Maybe it's a insecurity issue, not
How
necessarily a
big is
language
the
issue.
population in the school of Koreans
I
versus
don't know. I think it was predominantly white, but there was a large enough Korean population, it sounded like, where,
Okay,
it
so
was
let's flip
happening.
the switch though.
Mm,
Like let's say these this was a school in Korea
yeah.
and English speaking students were there and they would only speak English to each other. I don't think it would be the same. I don't think the
No.
Koreans would be like, "Hey, you guys speak Korean because we feel excluded." They would try to learn the English to understand what they're saying.
Yeah. I spent enough time overseas in non-English speaking countries and I just spoke English, right? Like
Right.
I can't learn the language if I'm there for, I wasn't living there, but like
Right.
there for a period of time and I can't learn all those languages. So I was just always like, thank you for speaking English.
I don't think banning it is the right decision. I think maybe having limitations as to the context. Context matters.
Yeah. Did anyone ever tell you to stop speaking Cambodian around them?
No, when Rich first came into the family, my parents would speak Cambodian or like the family would, but my mom would say it in Cambodian because she just felt more comfortable saying it in Cambodian than English. That was
Right.
all. It wasn't to hide anything.
Yeah, but did Rich ever not like it?
No, he would say, "What'd your mom say?" He's like, "Oh, she told me that I need to go get you a plate of food because apparently your legs are broken."
Yeah, and I guess like it's okay to be curious.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
he is doesn't bother him because he knows half the time we're talking about nonsense anyways that doesn't have to do with him.
So do you think this is more of like a racist issue? Did you ever experience where like, stop talking Cambodian like out in the community?
I don't remember. I
Okay.
don't think so. I don't know if they're intentionally being racist. I don't think I think the feelings of feeling excluded could yeah make sense if someone's talking in another language and you're sitting right there. If they're playing amongst each other, I could see that
Sure.
feeling. But if it was just two Koreans alone communicating to each other, there shouldn't be a problem.
Right.
Like just make an effort if you're with an English speaking person, throw in some English words so they
Right.
understand. Or maybe they don't know how to speak English.
Yeah. I mean,
We
that's
don't
a
know this,
possibility too.
right?
Yeah.
I think there's just so much more to it than just is it right or wrong? It's context.
Yeah. And obviously it's a complicated situation of which we don't know about,
Yeah.
but
But you said middle school?
high school.
Oh, high school.
Hmm.
Huh.
It's just interesting how it plays out, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of conversation about immigrants, period,
Yeah.
right? Not even just Asian immigrants, but I do think that there's some underlying racism at play for some.
Yes.
But I I like what you said about the insecurity piece because I think looking at it from what I know, that makes a lot of sense. Right? Like I don't give a fuck. Like you can even be
Yeah.
talking about me. I don't care. If
Right.
you're talking to Chinese, I don't know. I'm gonna just be like sitting here drinking my wine, eating my spaghetti. But I could see from a more insecure seat at the table, it would be like, oh, what are they talking about? Are they talking about me?
Right.
I want to be part of the conversation. So, you want to know what was so interesting? One time, I was talking to my therapist, and she's a white, middle-aged woman. And I love her. Her judgment and perspective on things has been so helpful in my life. But this one time I was explaining something about my in-laws, and it was brought up how they were speaking Chinese. And I don't even know what the issue was anymore. But I remember her response was, I can't believe they speak Chinese in your household. And it kind of threw me off because normally I like am so in line with everything that she says. And then I heard that. I was like, what? Like I'm supposed to be bothered by this? She
Right.
was taken aback. She was like, oh, you should talk to your in-laws about speaking and making you feel more part of the conversation. So she came at it from a very like white perspective.
Right.
It was so interesting. It was the only time I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Typically I love her, but I was like, oh, am I feeling? And kind of led me like, am I weird for not feeling upset about this? But I'm not going to invite more drama in my life. So I
No.
decided my perspective was correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that would be starting something that's not necessary.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's
And I do think like you had said, like your parents just didn't feel comfortable with certain aspects of English, right? To
yeah.
even carry on certain
Yeah.
conversations. And I do think that that's the way it is with my mother-in-law. Like she can speak English, like conversational English, but anytime she's trying to explain something that is a little bit more
Yeah, more detailed.
specific, yeah,
Yes.
she switches and then like King will translate it,
Yeah, it just
you know.
flows out better. She can probably express herself better in her native tongue, just like
Right.
English speaking people can
Sure.
express themselves
Huh.
better in their native tongue and not maybe French or Spanish or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. So would you, well, I guess you're the non-native speaker, but like, are you encouraging your kids to learn Cambodian?
They know some main words, but I didn't speak to them fluently. So,
Okay.
like, my mom will speak direct Cambodian to them,
Do they just
and
get,
they
they're
just
like,
go,
what the
and
heck?
yeah, and they're like, "What's Ma saying?" And I say, "She said this." I said, "But if you just listen to her, you'll understand. Like, you eventually pick it up." She just says the same thing, and then you're like, "Oh, this when she says this,
Yeah.
this is what it means." Because
Yeah.
my niece stayed with her for 6 months, and she's fluent now. She understands
Yeah.
everything my mom says. She can't speak it as well, but she knows what she
Yeah.
needs.
Yeah.
So
Immersion
immersion.
language
That's how it
school, right? Well, right.
100%
But I do think
full
that's the best
immersion.
way to learn. So, yeah, we're teaching the girls Chinese, but Mandarin, not his family's dialect,
Yeah.
just because his family's dialect
Is
is
yeah.
so small and it's a dying
Yeah.
language, maybe. I don't know,
Yeah, I
really,
don't
but
understand his I don't
it's like it's a little region, like not a lot of people speak it. There's things that they know because the girls know, because again, my in laws will say it in their dialect, but we're teaching the girls Mandarin. And I think it's great. I hope one day they can talk about me in Mandarin and
yeah,
that's fine.
right? To
I mean,
each
what a
other.
skill. What a skill
That's
to
the
have.
best skill. I can speak Cambodian to my sister. She understands me, but she can't speak back. So if we're out shopping and I be like, I don't know, the lady in front of us is taking so freaking long. Oh my gosh.
Right.
I can say that in Cambodian.
Yeah. Well, you're feeding the drama stereotype of, are they talking about me?
Yeah.
Yes, we
Yes,
are.
we are.
Yes. But no, I
But
do
then
think
at the same time, if someone's talking about you, who
who
cares?
cares? Well,
Who are
some people
they?
care. Some people care.
Like at the nail, like the nail salon.
Right.
1,000% those ladies are saying something.
Oh, for sure.
But I don't care.
No, I don't. But people do. Like I know people that are like, I hate it when they speak their language
It's the
again. So, oh,
insecurity.
I'm gonna
It
look at
leads.
every person that ever says anything like that again. I'm gonna be like, mm-hmm. You insecure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
insecurity. Because ultimately they're a stranger to you. If
Right.
they don't like the color of your hair or think you have a fat ass, who cares? Like, it doesn't
I
matter.
can talk about my toenails while they're clipping on. Right.
Exactly. Like, bitch got ganky
Right.
nails.
That's why I
And then
came
that's
here.
why you're there. So they're
Fix
stating a
it.
fact.
Fix it.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just look at it as who cares?
No, I know. I
Just
don't.
get off your back. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's my if I don't know what's going on, why invite that into my life?
Exactly.
Right? So that's my perspective, but maybe it's unique. I don't know.
I'm very similar.
Yeah.
Because usually once you find out, that's when problems happen.
Exactly. Like, why do I want
So
to
you start
invite that?
questioning,
Right.
why did they say that about me? They
Mm-hmm.
don't even know me. But then you just reverse it and go, I don't know them either, so who
Who
cares?
cares? Yeah, exactly. And I think you can pick up on things too. Or maybe if you're more insecure and sensitive, maybe you misread situations. But I do think I can read a situation where it's okay, what's going on here?
Right.
And then I just get out of the situation. But
Right.
because I'll never know if you're speaking Vietnamese, nail lady, like, and you're talking about me, I'll never know. She's not going to
Yeah. I think a
confess.
lot of times if I go into an Asian nail salon and it's okay, I just want to get this and this, like how much does it cost? And then I'm picturing what they're saying. She just wants this. It's probably gonna cost $6. How about we charge her $10 instead? And maybe Asian give it $15. And then she'll look back at me and go $15. And I'll say, okay. Like I don't need the other detail.
Right. But you know how it's playing
But
out.
I know how it's playing out. I can
Do you
hear the convo.
do you think you get special
No,
no? Because you're
no.
Asian, you don't think you get special treatment?
No, it's because I don't
Vietnamese,
speak
right.
Vietnamese. As
But
if
still like the
if
Asian on Asian
no,
discount.
oh, that's if you pay cash. That's anywhere. You get the discount with cash.
Right. But like I could pay with cash and get the discount.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
I mean like Asian, there's no like
No, I think it's
Asian
where
on Asian. Like, hey, sister.
no, there's no sisterly love in Asian world unless you are the same Asian.
Yeah, but then they can't talk about you because you know the you know what they're
Exactly,
saying.
exactly. That's the best part because
Yeah.
people usually think when I went to Cambodia, the Cambodians thought I was Japanese.
Really?
Oh yes, and they would all speak Cambodian in front of me.
Were they talking about
Uh-huh.
you? And then you just started saying like, "Hello."
Yeah,
in
and then
Cambodian?
well, I took a tuk-tuk ride one time
Mhm.
and I asked to go down to a restaurant. I was by myself. I'm like, I'm just gonna go have a coffee, you
Did you
know.
ask in English then?
Yeah, oh yeah, I did it all in English.
Oh, okay.
So I said, how much for the ride to whatever restaurant? And the guy says, 3,000 real. And I said, oh, well, that's quite expensive. I took one yesterday for 1,000. He goes, no, 3,000. And I said, hmm. And then I came out in Cambodia and he goes, huh?
Ah.
This Japanese girl knows how to speak Cambodian? And I just started to laugh because he said it in Cambodian. He said, "Ye mini, vachang chi atay mi ma pun, man I ma pun te my pun." And I was laughing, and then I said, it's 1,000, and he says the Japanese girls know how to speak Cambodian. I said, it's because I'm not Japanese, I'm Cambodian. He goes, ah, and he was even more like shocked, and then he
Wow.
started speaking to me in Cambodian
Okay.
and charged me 1,000.
Oh, good. See? Discount.
Discount because I can speak the language.
Right.
But I
That's
mean, but that's how it is in those countries with travel, right?
In
Like
tourism, yeah,
tourism. Yeah,
sure.
they have to make,
They make money.
you got to bargain.
Yeah,
You got to barter. But it was good. It was like, oh, they think I'm
travel.
Japanese. They speak in
That's
Cambo.
that's so funny. We play Name That Asian all the time, and even they didn't get it right.
No, they didn't. I get excited when I hear Cambodian in the Asian supermarket. I actually went up to a family because I heard them speaking Cambodian. I was like,
Yeah.
my people. And I went up to them and I was like, hi, Janip Sua. And they're like, oh, Janip Sua. Like, we have no idea, do not know
Ooh,
each
yeah.
other. And we just like talked for 15 minutes trying to figure out where they were from and where I was from and my
Okay.
parents to see if we connected somewhere.
Yeah, that's funny. So one time we were vacationing out west. We were in Seattle and we went to some national park or something. We were walking around with my in-laws and we're walking and we see this Asian family. And as we're walking closer, we hear they're speaking my in-laws' dialect. And so instantly they do the same thing like, oh, hey, come to find out, they were neighbors in the refugee camp that we just
Yeah.
happened to run
Isn't
into
that
all the way
crazy?
across the country. But because of the language, they were
Mm.
able to connect that way. Then they were like, oh, yeah, my dad lived here. Oh, what? We lived next door. It was so weird. And then we had to go visit this random lady. They're like, here, call her. And then we had to literally stop our vacation, go see
Oh, yeah, because
this
she
random
knew
Asian
more,
woman.
right?
Yeah, they knew her. They actually knew this woman.
Oh.
So it was just like so weird. And then we spent like 3 hours and talk about feeling excluded. I mean, I really didn't, but I literally had to sit in this house
Yeah.
for like
Well,
three
they talked and
hours.
caught up,
Oh my gosh. And I'm just thinking, like, this is my vacation. It was fine
making connections.
making connections. But yeah, some random Asian woman all the way in Seattle
Yeah.
or on the outskirts. And here I am sitting there twiddling my thumbs.
See, if I was in Seattle, I don't get excited meeting Cambodians because I have family there and I know they're probably related to me already. I'm
Yeah,
like in
okay.
Michigan,
Yeah,
when I
because
hear Cambos, I'm like,
there's not a lot of Cambodians around here.
no, there isn't. So,
So yeah, I can see how that's exciting. So what's like your funniest language story? Did you ever like when you were growing up? Because you said like you could talk to your sister, but did you ever do that thing where like you screwed around with boys talking in Cambodian or anything like that?
no.
You missed
I didn't
opportunities.
hang out with my sister when boys were involved.
Oh, so you missed
She's
out.
4 years older.
So my grandparents never taught me German. I would pick up on stuff and I could understand things, right? Just because they, like you said, spoke in their home, but like
Yeah.
I could never speak it. But I always wish there were those opportunities where it's like, man, I wish I could speak a different language right now. You know, white kids do like pig
Mm-hmm.
Latin or something like that, which I've
Mm-mm.
never figured out either. But
You don't know Pig Latin?
no, I don't.
Ig pay Attenley?
No,
I
that's
know Pig Latin.
okay.
I used to do that with white girls.
See, and they
We,
probably didn't know because,
no.
oh,
Oh yeah, no.
oh,
Like the
they
what
did.
we taught each other pig like we learned Pig Latin together and then we'd do it in front of the people that didn't know
Oh,
how to speak Pig Latin.
see? So what did you do? What'd you get away with?
Just saying words to each other, like
Oh,
sentences, nothing crazy. They'd be like, we don't even know what you guys are saying. Don't
right.
even talk like that. I'm like, well, if you learn Pig Latin, you would understand.
Mm-hmm.
We do it in front of the teacher too, and the teacher would just shake her head and be like,
I'm gonna ban pig Latin from the school. You cannot speak it here. Yeah, no, I never learned that.
it's fun.
But I there was lots of times when I wish I spoke a different language so I
But
could be
see,
like,
yeah. So
yeah,
I don't
look at
think it's
this
a
guy.
negative
His
thing.
ass so nice.
Right. Like if you're standing in line with your friend and you're like, damn, babe, look at that.
Right.
And you can't say it in English.
Exactly.
Another language is appropriate.
Yep. Those are
Like,
teaching the girls. They can talk about guys' asses in line all day.
right. Or like I peed my pants or I forgot to put
Right.
on underwear, something
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that.
oh crap. My
I shit my
my
pants.
my tampon's leaking.
I
I
just
gotta
shit
go.
my pants and I have to go home. So you get the coffee, meet me at home.
Got it.
Can't say that out loud.
Nope.
Well, you could, but
How would you say that in pig Latin? I shit my pants.
I a it shay I may ants pay and a afhe ute oge omhe aune.
I heard shit and that's it.
Itche.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard that.
Ache.
I don't even know what the rest you just said.
I just shit my pants and I have to go home now.
Okay. See, you could use that still.
Right?
I don't think a lot of people
We could take Pig Latin, add a little twang to it, and it'll
Okay, say it again with twang.
um
Like,
uh I it hit shay I may ants pay.
are you just singing?
No.
It sounds like weird karaoke.
But if you don't know what I'm saying,
No, I know, but like I'm trying to
I
figure out.
I
Twang
it
is like,
shay. I don't know how to do twang.
howdy, y'all. Like, I don't know.
I it's shay I may ants pay.
Now it just sounds like you're having a seizure.
And
I
a
think you have to rethink this.
afe ute.
People are gonna be like, call the
Okay.
police because there's this homeless person.
It sounds like she said shit pants. We're not sure what language she's speaking.
Maybe she's speaking her native tongue. She looks like Japanese or something. It doesn't sound Japanese. I don't know. I think she's having a stroke. Call 911.
Sounds southern.
No, not never.
Not even
No,
southern.
not even close. No, you did sound like you were singing karaoke there for a minute.
I feel like Pig Latin is so like because you have to think about the letters, so because it doesn't come out smoothly unless you use it all the time.
Yeah. Well, I'll start using it more so you can become more well versed
Yes.
and talk
I
to
will-
yourself.
I will
because
teach you Pig Latin,
I don't
and
want
we
to
can
know.
speak. You wanted to learn another language. Here's your opportunity.
Pig Latin is not
Pig
on the
Latin
list.
is another language. Do you know how many generations of people know Pig Latin? Raise your hand if you know Pig Latin.
Not it.
A lot of
Okay.
people do.
2 people out of our 5 listeners raise their hand.
No. No.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Reddit. I'm gonna post it on Reddit, and a lot of people
Okay.
will know that they will say they know Pig Latin.
Okay.
It's an easy language to learn.
Because it's made up by second graders.
Most likely kindergartners, but
Yeah.
it's good.
I wonder where it got its name. Pig Latin. Like, that's something to research.
Yeah. Alexa.
I don't got one. What's your guess?
Where Pig
I don't-
Latin came from?
Yeah, the naming of it.
I don't
Like,
know.
why is it called Pig Latin?
I don't.
Because farmers tried to learn how to speak Latin, and that's what came out. I don't know.
I don't know. Never thought about it.
Neither have I. Till right now. The deep thinking episode.
Where did Pig Latin come from?
Right. Deep
What is
thoughts
its origin?
on brown rice, white rice.
Mix it up.
So yeah, we can learn Chinese, Cambodian, Pig Latin,
And then our own version of Pig Latin.
the
it doesn't-
karaoke style. So the people who know Pig Latin won't know our dialect.
Exactly. Change it up.
Uh-huh.
Mix it
it
up.
Stupid. But yeah, I feel like there was lots of opportunities where I could have
Yeah.
talked through things if I knew a different language.
Well, my kids now have said, I wish you would have taught me Cambodian, Mom. And I said,
It's not too late. Yeah, it's not too late.
Yeah. So I'm trying to speak more Cambodian to them. And they just look at me like, what are you saying?
I think it's hard to switch. Like, King doesn't talk to the girls in Chinese unless they're doing their lesson time. And right
Oh.
now we're just teaching him in the house. Sooner or later we'll actually put him in a program. But it's kind of hard to find some where we live. We got to
Yeah.
drive about an hour,
Yeah.
which I'm not doing for a Chinese lesson.
Yeah.
But they're learning and writing and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I think it's great. I
When-
want them to know.
When I grew up, there was Cambodian lessons. There's like Cambodian school or something in Windsor because there was a bigger population in Windsor. And I never participated.
Because that was
in
far for you.
Yeah.
Right? It would have been like an hour
An hour.
drive.
Yeah.
And like,
But
who's
we
going to
never
drive
did
an
it.
hour for a Cambodian class? No matter how important it is, like try to find 2 hours drive time plus it's a whole
Plus
half
working.
day.
Well, especially you only have one parent who drives.
Right.
I would have had to drive myself at age 11.
Which you probably Did.
Yeah, I could have. My mom would have let me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. King was driving way early. It's definitely illegal.
Mm-hmm.
He like crashed the car when he was 14.
Oh.
Like not bad. Like he slid into a tree because it was snowing. And he told his dad, he's like, well, because he let him drive. He
Right.
couldn't get mad. Like, could you imagine if you let one of your kids drive and then they got into an accident at 14? It's like, it was your fault, mom.
Yeah.
Like,
I should not have been on the road.
right. But I would not let that happen today. There's way more cars on the road.
Oh, yeah.
So the language thing, I think, is different depending on your perspective.
What were some of the comments on Reddit?
Um, it was mainly talking about how it was a racist act. Again, I gave you as much information as what was on the original post, but people, I think, were talking through their own experiences and obviously racist experiences. So they were pretty upset by it. I think how you broke it down based on context was important. That was not talked about because I didn't even think about it that way. Like, oh, they're talking Korean during a test. Like, they're probably cheating, right?
Right. Or they could be.
They could be.
Or they're talking, you shouldn't be talking at all during a test.
Exactly. Right. Or even there's certain times when you shouldn't be speaking
Correct.
a language that maybe the teacher doesn't know.
Correct.
But it was mainly a viewpoint of these white students are being racist and, kind of whitewashing and taking away cultural experiences for these Korean students.
Right.
So
I don't think it's that black and white. That's why.
Yeah.
I don't think that's their intent of the white people taking it away. I don't think that's their intent, but they're expressing that it makes them feel uncomfortable, which it can.
Sure.
But then that also again leads into insecurity.
Right.
Like, and what is the context of this, where they're speaking Korean matters. I think it's just not black and white.
Right. Well, and I mean, isn't that what people make things nowadays? Black and white? Like,
right.
So you always come from a good perspective.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, this was fun.
I know.
We'll mix it up again soon.
Yes.
All right. Talk to you later.
Mix it up.
Hey, Inner Rice Pod. We had a blast mixing it up with you today. So use your chopstick or your fork and go ahead and click that like and subscribe button. Also follow us on social media to stay up to date. We would love to hear from you, so send us an email sharing your interracial stories. See you next time.